I have been serving as the immediate past president of GOSI. And prior to that was the president, where I was able to be really involved in the planning of the conference and working with the abstracts and setting the conference program. And as the immediate past president, I've been able to offer support to the new president as she leads out in new directions for the conference and for the organization. And so that has been really a great group of folks to work with, and I've really enjoyed that. And I'm also looking forward to serving on the board as we move forward. I've been involved with GOSI for 10 years this year. In 2011, I was a doctoral student, a alumni newsletter from my undergraduate institution, and one of my favorite professors from almost 20 years ago, Dr. Mike Seipel, he had taken some students to a GOSI conference, and that was highlighted in the alumni letter. And so that's how I heard about it, and that's how I got involved. I looked them up and then went to my first conference in San Juan, Puerto Rico as a doctoral student, and was able to present at that first conference. Well, the people of GOSI have kept me involved, from the leaders who greeted me with my very first moment at the conference, to the other participants at the conferences, to the students I've met. It's just been such a wonderful group of people, a nurturing environment for scholarship and for exploring questions, and interdisciplinary in that way, which really has been fun, because then I get to think about the things that I'm interested in, but from a different lens, right? So other people are sharing that with me. So that's really been the people. It's been the people who I've loved, and also the opportunities, of course, to travel and to visit other places that I might not have the opportunity, and to get to experience that often from more of a on the ground experience with people who are local, who are also involved in the conference. So that's been really wonderful for me. I have loved GOSI so much that I would really like to see it expand. I would like to see more people involved. I would love to see us have larger conferences with more professionals, more academics, more students. And also, one of the great things that we have is a journal. And I would love to see that journal grow with more rigor, more submissions. And I think that could be a really important contribution that GOSI could make as we move to the future. GOSI is like a family to me in some ways. The people that I have known there and gotten to know over the years have been really important as I've thought about the issues in my field and in the work that I've done. And I've developed personal relationships with them as well. And that's been one of the things that's been really special for me about GOSI, is this kind of holistic approach. So I've found that the folks that I've been involved with at GOSI bring their personal life experiences, and that informs the work that they're doing. And so no matter what their discipline is, they bring all of these lived experiences. And so I get to learn about that and see how that changes the lenses of the ways that they're looking at these important issues of our day. And also with that, I've found that folks bring their spouses or partners, other family members with them to conferences. So it's something, again, year after year, you have folks who are coming back as well as new people. And the minute you walk through the door, you're part of this GOSI family, and people are interested. And again, just this really holistic way of viewing our work and our scholarship. The GOSI conference is just a wonderful, exciting thing. I look forward to it every year. And in this conference, you have folks from around the world who come, and you have scholars, your typical academics who are professors and so forth. But you also have professionals and practitioners who are in the field doing work. And bring that practice experience. You also have students. There's a really big focus at GOSI on student involvement. which is exciting. And so at this conference, it's 2 days of presentations, breakout sessions, conversations between people one-on-one, where you're sitting at lunch and everyone is getting to know each other, and you get to know lots of people, strangers introducing themselves, very friendly group, and thinking about new ideas and thinking about things I've been thinking about for a long time, and having other people give me their ideas about that and asking me questions. People often bring their family members with them to GOSSI conferences. And so I've gotten to meet partners and spouses. I've gotten to meet folks' children. One year, I actually took my mother along to the conference in Hungary. And I think that's another one of the things I really love about a GOSSI conference is it is a nurturing place. It is a place where we are sincerely trying to look at challenges of our day and social problems, and think about creative and meaningful and impactful solutions. And so it's not about who is the most impressive, well-published scholar that everybody bows down to. It's not like that. That the practitioner who is there, who is working in the field, has something to offer and has really important insights. And so I think that's what really makes a GOSSI conference exciting and meaningful, is because all people's ideas are invited and thought about, and there's a lot of room for getting to know new people, and as well as renewing those friendships and relationships every year. One of the things that makes GOSSI as an organization and the conference especially unique is that we have every year, whether that's the year in the United States or the year out of the United States, we have a post-conference excursion, and often incorporated in that as a service project with the local community. And so one year in Philadelphia, we did service with the local schools in Philadelphia with a connection from a professor in our group. And then the excursions were there locally in Philadelphia to explore around. Other years, we went to Morocco, and after the conference toured together. And this is such an exciting thing to see the sites and the history and the culture, also while doing that with people who I have just spent days exploring ideas with. And so those conversations that started in the conference continue on the bus ride and in the lunches and the dinners and the sightseeing and all of these experiences. We continue our thinking and the intellectual curiosity about the world and about one another, which is another way that we get to know each other as humans, as well as scholars and professionals. And so I think that's something that really makes GOSSI something, again, that family-like feeling and an opportunity to learn more. So often as a professor, I'm supposed to be sharing knowledge and trying to learn knowledge through my research. But I also, on these experiences, get to learn from the travel and from the excursion and from talking with other people and experiencing this together. If you are thinking about attending the GOSSI conference, I welcome you, I invite you, I say come. I'm confident that you will love it, that you will have an experience where you're welcomed, where you're nurtured, where you meet new people, where you're introduced to new ideas, and where you really have an experience getting outside of your own thinking about certain issues. And I think it's so important. You'll meet people of lots of different ages and from different places of the world. And you'll have a chance to really explore some of these things that are important in our society and around globalization. And I would also say that it's really exciting for students to be involved with GOSI. We really work hard to offer student scholarships, to invite students to come and learn. And I first came as a student to GOSI and presented as a doctoral student and got great feedback. And of course, that's, as a student, it's very nerve-wracking at the beginning, but people were really interested in my ideas. They asked thoughtful questions. After the conference, after the session, folks would sit with me at lunch and ask me more. They really cared about what I had to say. I met new people. I've been able to connect in with people over email and see collaborations that come from this. So not only for students, but for faculty as well. One of the really neat things that I saw early on in GOSI was collaboration between professors in Pennsylvania and Hungary. And from a conference conversation, they ended up developing a class that was done online, and the students read the same book and they were able to come together and talk about it. And it was just really, really neat. And this grew out of a conversation at GOSI. And so there's just so many really interesting things that happen and exciting things. And there's really a place for everyone there. And everyone that I know that comes wants to come back because there's just such a special, really meaningful experience at GOSI. GOSI is different than any other organization I've ever been a part of, in a few different ways. One, many academic organizations and conferences, there is a sense of ego and a sense of intimidation, and that's part of the culture. And I have not found that at GOSI. At GOSI, I have found people who are genuinely interested in solving social problems and looking for solutions, ego set aside, right? Really about how can we improve. And so I think that is something that is really unique about GOSI. And I want to keep being a part of that because I want to be able to explore ideas with people without worrying about getting who's going to get the credit and all of these kinds of things. I think it also makes it a nurturing place for younger scholars to come and to try out new ideas and to be mentored by the scholars who've been around for many years, as well as practitioners who have so much to offer. So I think that is really something that sets GOSI apart. And I would also say that the interdisciplinary focus of GOSI is different than the organizations that I have mostly been involved in my academic career, in that it's really interesting to sit with folks who are outside of my discipline and view these issues from different ways. And I think that really provides a fresh perspective that helps my thinking and ideas from becoming too stale. And so that's one of the really great things about GOSI and as an organization. I think having our conferences, one in the United States and one out of the United States every other year, I think that also provides this really great way of knowing that it's not going to get stale, right? It's not going to be the same thing every year, but that we are exploring new places, we are learning new people, we're trying to make new partnerships in each of those places that we go, serving in the community. In the places that we go, many of the conferences we've done community service projects right there in those local communities, and partnered, of course, and led by the organizations that are already in those communities, who are doing the work there. And so that's been something that I've not gotten to do with any other organization and conference that I've been involved in. One of my favorite moments is, I guess, when things came full circle. I first went to GOSI conference as a doctoral student and presented. And in Hungary, at the conference in Hungary several years later, I was a new young professor, and one of my graduate students came to Hungary and she presented her work and received a scholarship for that. And that was just a special moment for me, to have that come full circle and to be able to share. One of the things I love to do is to share GOSI with my students. and invite them to participate in that. And so that's been one of the really neat things for me. One of the things that I really remember from my very first conference that was really super special for me was we were in Puerto Rico and it was at the hotel and after dinner. And one of the professors who had been around for a long time had just written a book. And so they gathered after dinner in the dining room and very casually we sat and he talked to us about his book and answered questions and told stories. And I felt like I had just been let into this kind of secret world where I got to hear from this author and hear about his work. And it was just really, really special. You could ask questions, you could talk. It was really a conversation in this setting. And it really spoke to me about what GASI is really about. It's about people sharing their experiences and how we use those experiences to solve problems and to work in crossing these borders and barriers that have been set up in our world. So I would say if there's anyone who is considering getting involved with GASI, I would say explore our website, see what's out there, check out the journal. There's a lot of pictures of past years, but more than anything, I would say just come, give it a try. Come for one conference and see if we don't just if it doesn't something that you just love. If you'll come to one conference, I believe you'll meet people that will change your life and that will change the way you think about the work that you're doing. And I think you'll come back. So please come. I can't wait to meet you.